And welcome back to part 54 of Neptunia VIIR, where today we're finally tackling the Senmuu labyrinth. And to my surprise, it actually wasn't that bad. Like, as bad as I remember it anyway, because my first playthrough I was hitting here for over an hour, but in this one, I guess somewhere in the back of my mind I just vaguely remembered where I was supposed to go, because I got through here in under 20 minutes. And I didn't actually have to edit out that much backtracking and whatnot. Like, I pretty much had it from a pretty early point. But I keep every encounter and every travel in because I don't want anyone following along to get lost behind. So this video is longer than it could have been, but at the same time, look at the video length, this is still a pretty short Neptunia part. Like I said, I just kind of got, I don't know if I just got lucky or somewhere deep in the pit of my memory I vaguely remembered the path I was supposed to take. Because this place is a maze. It is completely a maze, and this is the entire aesthetic. So it's not even fun to look at. And trust me, on my first playthrough I spent over an hour in this place, and then when I left, the brightness of the normal world map hurt my eyes. Like, I went back to hyperdimension and my eyes were burning because you adjust to this dark colouring. Like, trust me, if you're in here for as long as I was on my first playthrough, your eyes completely adjust to this design. However, if you're not that good with your depth perception, this place will screw with you, as you can kind of already tell. Like, the pitch black shadowing they've got going on can kind of give away where turns and corners are, but as a whole it is difficult to see where's a path and where isn't unless you've got a keen eye. Like, I don't do too bad here, thankfully. Like, my eyesight's just barely good enough that I can see just fine, but it is quite painful here. Also, I know I don't explore everything on this floor, because over here there's a return teleporter, but I never find the sender.
This is my story.
Good, there's a returner, but that's all it is. It's a returner. You can't teleport away from it. You can only teleport to it. And I never find the teleport that sends to, unless if I did, I didn't spot it and I ran straight past it. And you also get these half platforms here that take you up to different levels on the same floor. It's not a flat maze. Well, it's kind of a flat maze. They just have all these bumps and whatnot here and there to screw with you. But you're looking for stairs that go down, not stairs that go up.
I will never be a memory. I will never be the light.
Alright, I've gotten stronger.
And the worst part is that the loot down here, some of it's actually really good and worth getting.
What's this?
Case in point, the AMN Noir plan. And then if you head over left and right, both of them have loot on the other end of it as well, making a fork of loot. Like the tornado ring, like, they're all plans, and plans you want to get because it expands your equipment range for grinding and earning. That being said, this is likely to be the very last place you go to on your adventure because of how much of a pain in the ass this place is.
Oh dear, we're in trouble.
Enough boasting. Come at me. I've no
Also, at this point, if you're following along, you might have noticed. Well, if you're following a walkthrough, the walkthrough actually shows you what the map looks like, if you could see it. If you could see the map, you would have noticed that I've just gone in the circle, because that's the entrance we came in from. There's two exit points, and I literally went through one, and then came back through the other, and went in one big circle. And so I spot it, and I go, oh, okay, so I can start heading out again, like, damn it, I went the wrong way. And you can end up running through it for long stretches. If you've already unlocked the Plunker Zero, which as of this recording I've still yet to, I'd recommend doing that first, because if you can beat that, your reward is unlimited sprint, which will make exploring here a hell of a lot less time consuming. Because otherwise you're just, like, what else are you doing other than, like, just timing your sprint whilst going through this black void with white lines? Like, it's such a painful environment to explore.
Prepare yourself.
Like, it's one of the things I didn't end up actually mentioning when I wrote my review for Neptunia VIIR, was this dungeon. Like, after I played it, I wanted to write a small piece explaining why I didn't like this dungeon at all, but it just ended up not fitting in anywhere, so I ended up scrapping it and just showing footage of it on screen at one point when I'm talking and having a comment written on it saying, screw this dungeon, or something like that. Because there's a Mechanet blade there as well, so there is stuff you really want to get in here. Like, more powerful weaponry. Or at least the ability to craft more powerful weaponry. But you end up just running up and down this place so goddamn much Like, on your first playthrough, if you're not following a walkthrough, be expecting to spend a while in here. Because there's a lot of ways you can just lose your bearings and lose your way.
That was easy. Did you
And I know for a fact I almost definitely missed loot down here. On one of the floors, because here's the transition to the second area, I think it's the 4th floor. There's a whole section that I know I saw and I kind of remember it, but I just didn't bump into, so I know there's loot I had to have missed on the 4th floor.
Hope you'll be enough to entertain me.
But at the same time, I wasn't particularly the most keen on, you know, hanging around. Also, on every floor I rearrange who I've got in battle to try and make it more interesting. Just because this place really is difficult to talk about. Like, how am I supposed to start? Oh, the aesthetic is pitch black. Oh, the looting is pretty good. Oh, the enemies are stronger versions of enemies we fought before.
Do I look cooler now?
Everyone's levels are in the 80s, except Uzume is 87. Like, she's almost like she's closest to level 90. Like, why is everyone else at 81, 82, and yet Uzume is like level 87? Like, I mentioned it in like one of the previous parts, so I just noticed it. And I was like, what the hell? But they're really cheeky of some of the hiding spots for the loot. Like, you might be running for a while until you bump into it. But the Smash Sprawl hammer, Actually, that's the point. When V2, like base V2 came out, it came out very shortly after the PS4 launched. Was Smash 4 out at that point? Like, maybe it was referring to the most recently released Smash. I'm trying to remember. Like, 2014, 2015. Was Smash 4 out by then? I never had a Wii U, so I never really paid it that mind when Smash 4 came out. But I'm glad I managed to bring Big Nep into this somewhere, because I love all of her attacks. They're a proper grown-up version, but cheekier version of Neptune. Speaking of the Neptunia series, though, and referencing previous games, I wonder if we'll get Smash Hammer Ultimate or Smash Ultimate Hammer in the next Nep game if we get a new mainline game. So they're working, like, the last we heard, they're working on a ninja-themed spin-off now, and it's like, for fuck's sake, just make a new entry. Like, ever since the 4th game came out, we had Cyber Dimension, which was alright, but even with the co-op stuff, it was kind of lackluster. Super Nep, which I straight up didn't enjoy, which is why I've barely touched it after getting it. And now we're getting this ninja themed one as well, and it's like, well, just make a new mainline game, please. Even if the 5th one just kind of wraps things up and puts it in a way that can't have one after it, just finish this kind of thing. Well, I said the main game of this ended on a nice enough note, but the whole implying that Nep and Big Nep and Uzume go on intergalactic adventures of their own is something I'd love for them to explore in a new game. And I don't want this series to just, like, the main series to just stop without that getting explored. As we magically find our way down to the 3rd floor by sheer miracle more than anything else. So this time I go with a bit of a gold 3rd and giving Ioth and Compass some love, because they're a high enough level that I'd like to hope that they outpower the fact that they're so puny anyway. Oh, but I distinctly remember this floor because I go back the way I came immediately over to this right side, and this is actually the way you're supposed to go, but I end up not spotting the path you're supposed to go down and going straight past it, because this way has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different paths that turn down, with the 7th one on the way back over here being the one that actually takes you down the way you need to go, but I'm just not going to spot it and carry on going. And you see me actively trying to avoid the enemies, because that's a dead end. I suppose that's a plus, because if we're on a slightly lowered platform, the white line, like going like head height, makes it a lot easier to spot where the corners and that are. Well, I guess it gives you time to actually appreciate the music in here, I suppose. Because you actually have to hear it for longer and longer as you go through this bloody maze. Because eventually you will just start actively avoiding all the enemies, because it's just not worth it. Also, we get to see Compa's special breadcrumbs. That's Grand Satan. What a name.
That was good exercise.
Oh. And this guy as well here. I like the design on this thing with the big metal placing on the front.
Gonna use the skill.
And despite Arcane Shell not being an EXE skill, I believe it's got the longer animation. Yeah, because after it shoots the laser beam, the ball itself then rains down as well. But look at how little damage it's doing. Like, this only barely kills the thing. When everyone else was killing it on basic attacks. Like, for God's sake, IF and Combo, like, what happened to you two? And there goes me, not looking around, because there was another path in there as well that I just didn't glance down. And you're going to see me backtrack all the way through here. But that, if you're exploring, keep on exploring in that area we was just in. There is another path that takes you on. But at the same time, there is loot that we still need to get here. So and I guess it ended up working out that I was blind enough to not see the way we were supposed to go. Because over here is just a dead end. So I end up going all the way back to say, oh well, I might as well explore those other 6 turn-offs. Expecting the way forward to be in one of them, which it isn't. Because this one just links up to the 5th one. Oh no, this one's on its dead end. One of them just links up to each other, and it's like, okay, why did you split this path then if they just go round into each other? Is it this one? That you literally just left and then left again? Yeah, it connects back to that one. But then it carries on and then goes left back into that one. So the paths are kind of fake outs because most of them actually just, they reach their dead end really quickly. This one doesn't though, this one turns off over here to another bigger dead end space by the looks of it. Yep. I should probably have looked to my... Oh no, it looked like a dead end anyway, so I probably should have looked more to my left in case there was a path hidden in there, but it didn't look like there was. And this just leads back here as well. So most of those paths just link back into each other. There's the entrance again. So I'm like, okay, what have I missed? Because I already kind of had the inkling that this wasn't the right way either, so it was at this point where the penny was starting to drop, like, I've missed something. I think I've gone straight past it, which I have.
I feel so powerful.
Because this leads to an item, I believe. No, it just leads straight to a dead end as well. So at this point I'm like, oh fuck, I've gone the wrong way. I've missed it somewhere along the line. And this is where the worry started to set in, because I was like, yeah, I'm going to be stuck here now, aren't I? I'm not going to find the way forward. So because this is where we got the loot at the start. So I go back to the entrance and pause the recording. Take a breather and think to myself, okay, where haven't I been? And then once I think I've got it, I head off over there. Which is what that was there, me stopping. Because this is around the point where I'm like, well, it must have been over there, over that 7th entrance. Also, you don't really spot it in the story, but it's kind of distractingly obvious, like, how low of a skirt or jacket that, or how high even of a jacket that Sisha is wearing. Because, like, Jesus Christ, God, like, the whole time I wanted to tilt the camera up so it's looking down at her just for the sake of her dignity. Because she really doesn't have any otherwise. And then there's a random item here that I missed. That contained a bangle for the twins, Rom and Ram. Or a bangle plan for him anyway. Yeah, you can tell why I made this video, like, not as any longer than it needed to be. Like, 18.5 minutes was fine, because I'm already really struggling to talk about stuff, and this video is like the shortest video in this series. But starting next part, we're covering the VR stuff, so I won't be saying much in those videos, if any at all. I've yet to decide. I'll probably introduce it on those videos for people who are kind of just skimming and scanning through them. Oh, here's the 2 paths that I completely missed, by the way. But so the next 4 parts are going to be the VR stuff with 1 video per character. So the next video will be all Neptune's VR, the next video will be all Noir, then after that all Blanche, then all Verts kind of thing. And then after that I might do 1 last video if I can find the Plunker Zero, and then have that be like the finale piece of my final thoughts, just so then we're still ending on something other than just, you know, VR. Also, that was completely accidental. I was running away from the enemy and ran straight down here, and since I know this is the last proper floor, I decided to use the goddesses for it. I could have had like Bisha in and things like that, but that's just, I wasn't up for it. I was like, IF and Compo haven't had enough limelight, so they can stay out of it.
Now, who to
But this floor is the one I got hideously stuck on, and somehow just go the right way in this video, and because of that I know I've missed loot.
I've gotten stronger.
But I really wasn't up for hanging around in here to try and find it. Because look at this, I said you don't have a map, you're just feeling the walls essentially, you're feeling your way around. Like if worse comes to it, there's nothing stopping you doing the age-old technique of hug one rule and keep on walking, you'll eventually find your way there. But that doesn't really work because there's blocks in the middle. It's not all walled. There's random cut-off blocks, meaning there's spaces you won't touch by only following the wall to your right and keep on moving, kind of thing. It's a very loud motorbike goes past. Oh, dirty sewage plan. How lovely. God, just like that's I'm sorry. I know I'm not doing a really good job at the whole commentary thing, but what am I supposed to say about this place? The only thing that might catch you is that some of the bigger enemies that are on the 3rd and 4th floor, like you kind of saw it there, because of how shadowed everything is, like with like the dark fog almost. Sometimes you can run straight around a corner into an enemy and not realise they're there until you're really close to them. Which that has happened to me a couple times in this if you've paid attention, where I've been running around just gone straight head first into one. But I think, yeah, this is around the point where I stumble into the right way by complete accident. Because when I first played through here, I didn't spot this. And on this play, and so I went back and went everywhere else and just didn't find that. But down on this bottom floor, you have your boss, which is a super boss against Shiva, who's really, really tough and absolutely doesn't have only 1 HP. Yeah, they make the health bar look super inflated, but in reality it's only 1 HP, so you touch it with anything, the whole thing just vanishes. And you get memories of that day, an item that will get you a flag item. The flag item, still don't know how it works, but the flag item tells you that it gets you the ability to call on Histy for Teach Me Histy. They need a tutorial to call on her at any time, but I don't know how to actually call on her, it just tells you can. Which means the only 2 flags we're still missing is one we get from another side quest, which is killing a certain robot, which I might do in that extra video if I find it, which grants you the ability to see the vision cone on all enemies, which is really handy because then you can see what I meant right at the very start of the game, of robots have 360 vision. They have a dome around them, not like a sight line. And then the only other one is the one you get for beating the Plunker 0, the other Plunker level, which, like I said, gives you unlimited sprint. But that being said, that's the Senmuu labyrinth. We managed to get it done in a somehow very reasonable 18.5 minutes. So next time on Neptunia VIIR, we're starting the VR stuff, which means I won't be talking much, but until then, you guys take care now.